Hey everyone, this is the Expert Sleepers Super Disting EX Alpha. I just picked this up from Perfect Circuit. A few days ago, I sat down to do an unboxing, first impressions type video, and I was sidetracked because once I put it in my rack, I found it really challenging to figure this thing out and get any sort of useful patch out of it. But I've had a few days to work with it now, so I want to walk through a few things that I discovered. So first of all, I want to explain what this is, why I bought it, how I see myself using it in the future. Then I'm going to walk you through a few patch ideas and ways you can use it, and I'll close it off with some final thoughts. If you've heard of the Disting before, you know that this is just the jack of all trades. It does pretty much anything you can think of. The last Disting, the MK4, I believe, this is just two versions of that, one on each side, with a few extra modes or algorithms, as Expert Sleepers calls them, which uses the whole module. I bought this because there was a few patches that I was doing where I wanted some more traditional sounding drums. I used to have an Arturia drum brute. That was kind of cool. And I wanted something with that kind of functionality, but that could be programmed through CV, just because I got Pam's Pro Workout and I wanted to basically set up some rhythms in there and having it program drum sequences. I also have a Korg SQ64, which has a really cool drum track to it on track D, and I've never really been able to use that functionality because I haven't had anything to do it with. It doesn't work with the DFAM. So I was looking around and I started looking into samplers, thinking that that might be a way to go. And I found out that the newer version of the Disting, this one, has an algorithm in the single mode where it's used all as one, called SD6 triggers. So you can actually trigger 6 different samples. That piqued my interest. The other thing I was looking for was some simple effects. I frequently record and use plugins on my DAW. When I'm jamming out at home, I have some effects on my mixer that I use right back there. I have the Cumulus, which is a mutable instruments clouds clone in my rack. But beyond that, I didn't really have any other effects. So I wanted something. I was looking at effects modules too. And then I realized that the Disting has tons of effects that I could use. Those are two big things that kind of made me start researching this module a little bit more. And I found out that it can do even a ton more things. The one that put me over the top was there's actually a mode in it called Dream Machine, which was based on Lamont Young's work. And if you've watched my channel recently, I just put out a few videos on that and I've been looking into them. So I was like, okay, that's it. I'm just going to get it. It'll serve some sort of purpose. In general, I try to avoid things with menus, but I got Pam's Pro Workout and the menu didn't really bother me. And I've actually been really enjoying using it recently. So I kind of feel like I'm ready to get over my menu snobbery and just buy modules with menus in them. This one, I have to say right at the beginning, is menu diving on another level. It's pretty serious. I'll show it. I'm going to throw it in my rack. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And we're going to walk through some of those modes. We'll walk through the Dream Machine. I'm going to show you how I can make drum tracks using Pam's connected to this. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so let me start. This is the Disting. I've got it right next to Pam's Pro Workout. I've got a whole other bunch of stuff down below, but I'm going to try and stay focused on this because it's really small, so you have to see it. And just to give you an idea of just how small this screen is, this is a 1/4 inch jack. And I mean, it's about the size of the tip of this thing. It's a little bit bigger than that. So, I mean, the fact that it's even as readable as it is pretty amazing. I'm in my 40s. My eyes are probably just starting to fade, but I've never needed glasses before. And I do a lot of squinting looking at this thing. So that's something to keep in mind. But once you get and program in the things that you want it to do, it's relatively simple to kind of get around. So let's jump in and set up that drum patch that I was talking about. So I've already programmed in stuff through PAMs, and I've got a cool rhythm going. Here, I'll play. This is a randomized kind of sequence that I'm playing through Plats. It's kind of a little funky jam. So that's going on, and I want to have PAMs also making a drum sequence on here. So what we're going to do right here, I'm going to try my best not to get in the way. But if you go, you can see algorithms, and this is SD6 triggers. That's where I was before, so we'll just go right into it. Hopefully I didn't reset everything. I don't think I did. And if you go to folder number 7, yeah, it should be all set. These are samples that were preloaded into it. There's a little SD card here, and you can put in your own samples too. I'm going to have output number 1 be my kick. I'm going to plug it in here. Now you can see too, the lights light up where it's coming from. So that's my kick. And then I'm going to have the next one be my snare. Pretty cool. And then we'll have an open hi-hat. Oh, that's not right. Going in, plug this one in. I think I actually had another one too. I think this is like Now for number 4, for some reason it didn't save my previous settings, which is actually pretty good because now I can walk you through how to do it. So if I can remember this correctly, we got to go to our outputs. Oops, no, I don't want to do that. So this value will change the output. So sample 1 is my kick drum. It says BD blowfield drum number 1, so bass drum, snare drum, hi-hats, and this one, sample 4, is set to another bass drum. And I don't want that. I want it to be like a hi-hat thing. So we're going to use this to actually change the value to, and there's all kinds of different settings, but we're going to do an open hi-hat. So I think if we, that's what it's going to sound like. And just to kind of go through the different sounds that are loaded up in here. Congas. Clap. There's a bunch of different bass sounds. And this is only one folder called the Blowfield drums. There's also there's a variety of different drum kits you can use. See if we can find some cymbals or something. All right, we'll use that. So now what should happen, there's my drum beat. And this is all being controlled by PAMs. I didn't go in and do anything. I just kind of programmed in the divisions. I have some Euclidean rhythms going on the snare and the hi-hats, and then the bass drum has a probability set to a certain amount, but that's it. And if we bring in and this, of course, you can control this the amount of voltage that's going in affects the levels. So with PAMs, you can easily do, like if I want my bass drum, I think I have it all the way up in here. Let's see, let's go to the sub menu. Level is 100 in there. If I wanted it to be kind of quieter, I could turn that down. But you can also go into the disting. If we go to the tenuverters, we can adjust these to control how loud it is. So let's see. You can barely hear it. And I've got mine going into a matrix mixer, so I can, isolate or turn down certain sounds. If I want to take the hi-hats out, I can take that out. If I want to put it back in. So it's just a kind of cool feature, and it works so well with PAMs. It's really fun to play, but I could also control it using my Korg sequencer or some other type of sequencer too. And I could even add 2 more inputs. You would just have to share an output for each of those, but you could add in a larger kit. Cool, let's move on to a different algorithm. So if we push both of these together, it brings us up to the algorithms. Let's go to algorithms. We'll choose a single one. So dual mode is where each side is its own separate disting. But if we choose the single, so there's all kinds of different stuff. There's a matrix mixer, an Augustus loop, which is like a tape delay, multi-sample, which is actually really cool. I should show you that too. That's it's got some great samples, especially the piano samples. The SD6 triggers, which we just went through, a wave recorder, multi-switch, looper, the Dream Machine, we'll get into that in a second, poly wavetable. It has 2 modes in here. One's macro oscillator and then macro oscillator 2. And this can actually function just like Mutable Instruments braids and Mutable Instruments plat. There's actually one in here too that's resonator, which is Mutable Instruments rings. So if those are of interest to you too, this can actually function as those modules, which is it's pretty amazing how much stuff is packed into here. If you don't mind the menu diving, and here's the multi-effects. If you don't mind the menu diving, then, this thing is so worth it. I want to put together a quick patch showing off some of the samples, because that's really cool stuff. All right, so I zoomed out a little bit, and that's because I wanted to just show this little patch that I just plugged in. So what I have going on is PAMs is sending out pitch through output 1, and it's a randomized sequence that's quantized to the Lydian mode. And then I have number 2, I have the gate going into the disting programmed in through the multi-sample. This is one that just comes preloaded with it. It's a soft piano. I thought it sounded really pretty, and I'm running it through After Later Cumulus, which is a Clouds clone. So actually, I'll turn the Clouds off and we'll bring it in later. So this is what it sounds like. So it's already just really amazing. Let me turn down everything. That's just clean. Now I'm going to bring in some reverb with the Clouds. bring in some subtle granular texture. So it's just a really pretty generative patch. And the only modules I'm using are PAMS, the Disting, After Later Cumulus, which is Clouds clone, and Maths is providing some modulation to Clouds. But you know, we could even unplug those and it would still sound beautiful. And this is all going to just a VCA mixer so I can output it into my mixer. So it's just another really cool way you can use this. Let's check out another algorithm. Okay, so right now I've got the Dream Machine set up, and you can go in there and set 4 tones based on prime numbers, just like Lamont Young. And you can choose different wavetables to go from, and here is the stereo out. I'm running this through a Popple filter, which is a clone of Mutable Instruments Ripples. And I'm modulating the cutoff a little bit through Maths. And there's the drone. And really for this patch, all I'm using is the Disting, the Popple filter, and Maths. And you know, you could honestly take Maths out. Right now, this is just 2 modules, the Super Disting and the Popple filter. And furthermore, I mean, you can adjust the wavetables to create different sounds. So let's hear a different one. There's some more aggressive ones. Oh, here's a good one. You can bring it forward to some other ones that I saw. So, I mean, this is just some really amazing stuff. I think this is one of my favorites. I haven't had a chance yet to really dive into the wavetables and everything, but this is just crazy, crazy stuff that you can do this with just 2 modules. So, I mean, that's just a taste of what this thing can do. It's really amazing how much they put into this. So I could see someone using this if, say, you had a smaller rack and you wanted to get as much bang for your buck in terms of HP. It might also be good for a beginner who doesn't have many modules, and you kind of get a little bit of everything. The only thing about it is you can only use one of these algorithms per patch. So you can't use the Dream Machine along with those multi-samples that I was just playing. And for instance, I was playing with the drums, but I also can't use it for reverbs and delays and things like that. So it's kind of one of those things of, I'm still probably going to go out and purchase some type of drum thing at some point, and I might purchase some type of reverb thing at some point. So it's kind of like, it's like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of situation where you get literally everything, but there's probably a module out there that does all of these things more efficiently or easier with the knobs or something like that. But it's still, I'm so pleased with it at this point. Once you get a handle on how to navigate the menu, I think I'm going to probably use this on almost every single patch. So I'll probably make more videos in the future on different features as I get better at it and as I practice it. Every single feature is almost like learning a whole new module, so it would be crazy for me to sit here and do an hour-long video showing every single algorithm. But as I use them, I'll make a video highlighting them. So if you're interested in seeing more, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you are interested in purchasing it, I put an affiliate link to Perfect Circuit in my description. Make sure you check that out. They're a great company. They support me. I support them. And I'd really appreciate it. If you click through that affiliate link, you can buy any gear. You don't just have to buy the Disting, and I get a small tip, so I would appreciate it. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.